All right, and we're back. Thank you, Michael, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. That's a great honor and great pleasure for me to be here.
Amazing, man. And just to welcome everyone, or give set the tone or the platform here, the ranking stream. Welcome everyone who's joining around the globe. Um, the ranking stream essentially interviews SEO experts, SEO tool builders, essentially anyone who's helping improve the SEO space, helping anyone work efficiently, helping our lives be easier. And Michael is that prime example, with being the co-founder of Surfer SEO. So Surfer SEO is obviously super popular right now. Everyone in my groups is talking about it. So I'm super excited that Michael was able to take some time away from his busy day to join us. So Michael, thank you for that.
Come on, come on.
Hey, I was
That's a
just
great pleasure for
complimenting.
me.
I was complimenting their
Yeah,
background
I'm too humble.
because I
Too
love that.
humble. Too humble.
Hey man, I love your background. We were talking about it a little bit before, and I asked Michael if it was real or not. I was like, is that real? And then he stepped behind. He was nice enough to go
Everybody
back and
asks
like,
me. Everybody, literally.
there it is.
Because, like, you know,
Okay.
real shit.
Now I believe you, man. Now I believe you. Okay, thanks for that. Well,
But you
Michael,
said I
yeah.
put the wrong switch. I can't remember which one is.
It's all good. I'm just glad you didn't turn the power off and we didn't lose connection here, man. So thank you. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
But hey, man, where are you
Easy.
calling from? What time is it? And where are you calling from? And what time is it? Is it there?
It's 7 p.m. I'm calling from Poland, southeast part of Poland.
All right. So it's a little later over there, so we won't keep you too long. But thank you for joining us it's a little later. I appreciate that. I'm based in Austin, Texas. I don't know if you've been, but
Nice.
it's yes,
No,
it's
I've never
noon
been to
right now.
States. Never been to
No.
States yet. Looking forward to this,
Okay.
especially to visit Colorado.
Colorado. Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you
Yeah,
for that. Well, a lot of people
you can see
compare.
this,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Okay. Wait. First time, why the fascination with Colorado?
Because of the snow. There's really like great mountains, great hiking trails, and I'm like
Yeah.
really skiing a lot. So that's what I do if I'm not, in front of the laptop.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, man. A lot of people, to be honest, to be fair, they compare Austin to Colorado. Some people may hate me for that, but we don't have the snow and all that stuff. But we do have a lot of hiking. We do have it's a very outdoor city here in Texas,
Mhm.
and a lot of people kind of compare just the environment and culture. They're kind of similar. So if you do ever come to the States, I know Colorado's your top, but Austin should be your second. And you know what I mean. You should let me know when you do.
100%, 100%.
Well, right on, man. Well, hey, like I would definitely wanted to, super fascinated about your story. I've heard a little bit about it online in terms of how you started, you and your partner started Surfer SEO. But can you give us a little bit of your background and how Surfer SEO just kind of started?
Absolutely. So it was like 2017, I guess, and I was working in the agency, small agency on the countryside here in Poland locally, and we were like really struggling with scaling up the team. There was no one to hire, like skilled in SEO or at least in marketing. So we decided that we have to scale up the processes instead of scaling up the team, and we build a tool for ourselves. So basically, scratch your own itch. You can read it in many business books and so on, but it's real. When you face the problem every day and it pisses you off that some stuff is not automated and no one really tackled it yet, then you are trying to carve some time, to carve some resources from what you already have, to invest a little in these, instead of spending time on like repeating the same task every day. Can you hear my son singing and playing guitar, or it's okay?
It's
Because I
okay. No, I
can
can
hear
hear you.
him a lot. All right.
It's like, yeah,
So
I could hear you fine, but yes,
that's basically how it started. And at first
yes.
it was internal tool,
Mhm.
but then where we decided to try out if anybody else will be interested in using tool like this. So basically scraping Google and analyzing top pages to see what's inside, so you don't have to go through the HTML of each page to see whether they use keywords and where they use them and so on. uh, and it turned out that quite a few people is really interested in automating these like pretty tedious tasks that everybody was doing at the time to reverse engineer competitors in SERPs. And yeah, late 2017 was the first beta release. Pub like we sent it publicly. So that's how we started. Our own problem solved for ourselves and turned into product.
That's amazing, man. And it's like how I talked to a few founders of other SEO tools as well, and that's usually how it starts. It starts with like solving your own problem. I also believe
Mm-hmm.
like you mentioned just like wanting to have more involvement in automating certain tasks. I think in SEO there's so many tasks that could be like
Oh
automated,
yes,
and I think that's where a lot of these like micro tools come from. I mean, I've talked to folks building SEO applications inside of Google Docs. I've had them build their own SaaS applications to automate just the
absolutely.
few mundane tasks there. Um, yeah, what
Like
was I
there
mean
are
that
tools in
mhm,
SEO that are only purpose is to convert Google Docs into WordPress pages, right? And it's this really tiny bit of a process. Like the process is huge. You ideate content, you write, you talk to the writer, then you have to publish and rank it, and like really small element of that process can be turned into a product.
right.
So absolutely, you can have like really small bit of a process and uh, just pursue this
Yeah.
idea of automating it.
Was there any hesitation around like did you guys kind of hesitate early on in thinking that maybe like niching into content optimization, although it was always pretty like a large, that's a big part of SEO. Did you ever think that it was ever too small, or did you have any hesitation around the market
Yes,
size for a tool like
yes,
yours? Yeah. Mm,
yes, 100%. Uh, uh, at some point, we crawled the internet to gather backlinks.
mhm.
Can you imagine? Like we really thought that is the moment that uh, maybe the on page, the content creation is not enough. So uh, maybe we should to start,
Mm,
expanding the market to bite some bigger guys,
wow.
you know. And well, it turned out that recently, just a few weeks ago,
Hmm.
we were cleaning up the code from leftovers from that time. However, uh, it turned out great that we didn't split into too many ideas, so we could focus on, instead of creating tool for everything, to create a tool that is pretty much covering the process of content creation and ideation, and of course maintaining these articles on high positions with like continuous optimization. So instead of doing
Hmm.
everything, we niche down to this. Of course, we expanded. Like at first, it
Right.
was just the analysis of top ranking pages, then
Mhm.
automated audits, then creating briefs for the writers, then helping them to write the content. But it was everything about the words on page. Always, always.
Definitely. Yeah. What were some just like learnings? You mentioned how the product evolved, which I really love. I had a question around that. But what are some ways that Google changed when you guys started in terms of some of the data that you would analyze versus how Google's evolved now, and how the product kind of had to evolve to match how Google's now ranking certain pages or looking at certain
Actually,
items against
everything is
competitors?
going in the direction that we are happy about.
Hmm.
Like at the very beginning, it was like this wave. starting to go up in terms of people interested in content optimization, not
Mm-hmm.
only backlinks.
Right.
And like 2018, 2019, it was going into like head to head. Like you ask two SEOs, what's more
Mm.
important, backlinks or on
Mm.
page, and one will tell you backlinks, the other will tell you on page. So it was
Yeah.
really head to head at some point, and it keeps this way. And you know what? Right now, with the topical authority building and stuff,
Right.
it's going even more towards content
Mm.
optimization, because we have to have like not only one article optimized, but the whole block category optimized. So you cover
Mm.
like many aspects of a certain topic, and
Right.
it means that you have to have more pages being created and optimized.
Mm.
So it turns out that, well, it's going in the right direction for us. So the market
Right.
is still expanding. More and more people are hearing about like keywords clustering. Uh,
Yeah.
and what does it mean? They understand that they need some more than just a head term that will be used in title, and that's it. So people are getting more and more educated, not only in a single article optimization, but the whole website structure optimization
Right.
to improve the rankings, internal linking, and stuff, which makes content production worth doing it, basically, because
Mm-hmm.
it starts to be a foundation of everything.
Right.
Of course, you have to have backlinks, you have to have the authority, but if you don't have a page, and Kyle
Yes.
Roof said that some time ago, the only page you
Mm-hmm.
can't rank is the page you don't have. And
Mm.
this is smart, you know.
Yes. It definitely is. It seemed like it was like perfect timing too, between the evolution
Mhm.
of the product and how Google's kind of changing a lot to, the content quality is obviously a priority and always has been, but now with like AI content being generated, like quality is a big factor. And there's a lot of
Mhm.
instances where, Google is able to tell, I mean, they say they are able to tell good quality content, but like it's more important now than ever. And I feel like the timeline of your product and where we are today, it just kind of like married each other. I don't know if it was a matter of like perfect timing, or is this you guys kept on plugging away and just followed the trend of how Google was evolving, and the product kind of like married the time, where content is and quality is so important.
I would say there's everything in it,
Yeah.
and luck is a great part of it. But we were
Yeah.
ready for
Yes.
taking that opportunity. So sometimes a lucky moment appears in your life, but you're not ready to take it. And we were ready to take it, and we took it. And I guess that you have to be always prepared for the change. Uh, on the market, and when the change is coming, you have to be aware of that change and be prepared to jump on the train. And especially now, we are encountering another change on the
Mm.
market. Like there was a change about the NLP, so Google understands the content, so we have to be to the point and use entities and so on. We were ready added
Right.
these entities to improve the uh, optimization and so on. But now we've got another revolution in terms of the AI, which
Hmm.
is causing a little bit of a trouble to Google, because they have to understand much more content right now. Like I wish I knew how many pages are requested to be indexed these days compared to the same period, like 2 years ago or a
Oh
year
yeah.
ago. uh, and I think that it quadrupled or even more. Like the content is being produced massively right now, uh,
Yes.
and I think that we are ready to jump on this revolution with the AI stuff as well.
Hmm. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, like with AI, and we're talking about timing, and obviously like AI and the development of that. And then Google announces like a new update for adding an additional E to the, eat, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
how does, so for anyone who doesn't, know yet, it's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. How are these kind of things, how are you guys looking at, the new E? Is the new experience the differentiator between content that's just written really well and has all your right keywords to content that needs to somehow, satisfy the user experience? Like, how are you guys treating the new E in that factor? And does it have is it something you're considering at all?
Yeah, well, we are experimenting on how we can help people to optimize for the other E too, because
Hmm.
it is just another keyword on the list you have to consider adding. Like, uh, can you imagine Google storing a database of all of the authors in the world, like bloggers, everybody literally, to verify whether they have the experience
Hmm.
or they have used the product or they have been to states, for example, to review Colorado skiing areas? No way. They can't. This is just like too big. Database to too many connections. So what they will be looking for, what are they feasible of doing? They are feasible of reading the text. And uh, the way we see it is basically that you have to let them know that you did use it. You have to let
Hmm.
them know that you had some contact with product. You have to let them know that you are capable of reviewing the product because you've been, I don't know, working in the industry or studied something or whatever. So just convey that information in text, and it should be enough to cover these e's.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Did it kind of,
What else can they do?
yeah,
What else can they do?
right,
If
yeah.
you if like sit back and think, what else can
Mm,
they do besides reading the article itself? There's nothing
right.
more. They have to categorize it when they are crawling and analyzing and forget it and move to the next one, to the next one, to the next one to keep the pace of indexing everything on the web.
Hmm. That's a great point. Yeah. I don't really, yeah, I was thinking about it too. Like, I don't really know how they could tell if you actually went to Colorado and, rented or bought those
Yeah.
skis. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously they
I,
have a
I
lot
could
of
even,
data.
watch
Yeah.
a video on YouTube
Yeah.
of someone who've been there, and
Yeah.
now I'm capable of, reviewing it because I watched
Yes.
10 reviews and
Mm,
now I know, right?
yes. Yeah, I mean, to me, I watch a review and I'm like, is the person, do they satisfy what I'm looking for in the review that pertain to like the quality of the product, like the pricing of it, it's fit for me in my life. And to be honest, like their experience is important, but I know everyone has different experiences with different products. Some people may hate the experience with one particular ski, and somebody may actually like love it. So who's to say, like whether they used it or not, more so than are they satisfying these other like checkpoints that I look for when I'm
Yeah, and,
reviewing
and, and there
specific
is like
products
a
online?
freedom of
Sometimes I don't
speech.
care. Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
also freedom of speech. So you can have an
Yes.
opinion that is against someone
Yeah.
else. And like if you were to review SEO tools, basically in the introduction of the article, you can just say that I'm doing SEO for a few clients, and it's been a while since I've been looking for such a tool. I tried a few other, and turns out that this one, after my 3 months test,
Right.
turned out to be, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And is there expertise? Yes, because you are
Hmm.
doing SEO for clients. Is there experience? Yes, because you've been using it for 3 months, or you heard from your friend who's been using it for 3 months and tested it out, and he told you that it's worth it or not. So, the first hand experience through a video, through an opinion, through whatever, and expertise coming from a job, coming from uh, the degree or any other kind of experience you can have expertise. it should be enough.
Absolutely. Just one more. I don't mean to tackle that. I mean, beat that topic down. But do you also think that like the experience side could also be like a user experience on an actual page with the content? Obviously, someone uses a product that's great, but if they have content that's well structured on a page that allows the
Mm.
user to have a good user experience on the page, increasing dwell time and a lot of other on-page factors. Do you think that'll ever that has some kind of relation to any of that and what Google's trying to do to understand the page's quality?
So yes, like these guidelines for the quality raters states that it is first-hand experience, and it refers to using the product. It refers to, like, there is like an example on this topic, like using some product, and yeah, I don't have a screenshot right now handy, but I totally recommend you going through these quality raters guidelines. And
Yeah,
from
definitely.
that context, it truly states that it is about the reviewed product experience, first hand experience. So I can review this pen,
Mm,
right?
right.
Instead of uh, how does it feel to read this particular pen review as a reader. So I would say it's more about experience of the person who is writing the review than the person who is reading the review.
Gotcha. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And me, I was like, after, digging, I didn't read the whole thing. Obviously, I just like kind of, skimmed it and hear what people are talking about in the industry. And I was like, there's got to be more than this. It just can't be like my personal experience because there's so many, like we talked about, there's so much ambiguity in that. So it's interesting how that is more and more of an importance to them, but it's kind of hard to really prove.
5 minutes before we are going live, I just stumbled upon an article that stated that the core web vitals is not
Mm,
something that businesses should, focus on.
mm,
Uh, like smaller businesses or local. So it turns out that it might have been
mm,
important for them, but it's not that
right.
important anymore.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. These things are changing so much. Um,
Mhm.
okay, so we have a quick question. I want to Flavio had a question. I'm just going to prompt here if you want to just address this really quickly. It says,
Mhm.
Michael, what do you think the number of articles that needs to be published on a blog each month to achieve growth? Is that important? If yes, how many articles do you recommend to publish for a website that targets a niche market and has monthly average of 300 visits?
Thank you, Flavio. Great question. And we've got like many tactics, uh, like spread on the internet. Uh, Recently, I stumbled upon another tactic that was kind of fresh, which was about publishing a whole blast at once. So
Hmm.
imagine that you've got this niche about marathon running shoes, right? And now you want to tackle shoelaces. So you publish, instead of publishing every day or every week, depending on your pace, an article about shoelaces, like how to, tie them and how to change them, how to choose them, what's the length and type of knot, whatever. Uh, you publish the whole smaller or bigger silo at once as the initial recognition. And it turns out that it might be even better than regular publishing, like every day. So instead of like publishing article every day during the week, you publish 7 articles in a silo on the seventh day. And how many? It depends on the niche. But in general, you want to start the niche site really specific. So keep yourself as close to the core topic as possible. And when your site is like 100 articles plus, you should consider expanding the niche in a new category and start blasting content there. That there is no short answer like one
Mhm.
like one post a day, will keep your growth, going up. There's
Right.
nothing like this. All depend on the niche.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Flavio, hopefully
I
that
talk too much.
answers. You what? Sorry.
I talk too much.
Oh, no. I mean, that's there's some good context that needs to be had there. So it's never just a simple like one-to-one. Well, rarely is it a very one-to-one answer when it comes to SEO, right? It's always the
Yeah.
depends quote. Yeah. But amazing. All right. So like we've been talking a lot about the obviously the history, surfer SEO, just kind of how it evolved and how it became, the trends and how Google's evolved around this. I think, it would be super helpful to, I think you had a demo prepared as well if we wanted to kind of run through some windows or screens that you had, or anything you wanted to show. I
Yeah,
think this would be a good
that
time to
that
kind of
will be
tee that up.
real quick, real quick.
Let's,
I'll share my screen for a second. I
let's
will
do it.
share my Chrome tab. That will be this one. And I wanted to say hi to Joe and hi to Amanda, who I know are on the chat.
Amazing. Yeah.
All
Hey, Joe,
right.
how's it going?
Okay, you can see my screen. Cool. All right. So we will just go through real quick process on figuring out what to write about and then turning these ideas into reality. And to conserve the time, I prepared an analysis in Surfer's keyword research that is about how to learn SEO. So I will just turn it on so I can see what's on this screen. So the main topic is how to learn SEO, and we
Mhm.
are looking through all of the topics, subtopics around learning SEO, like the checklist, DIY, SEO courses, learning digital marketing, copywriting, content marketing, and all that stuff that has to be on the page to ensure that you have this topical authority met, that you have these requirements in place. And these are like keywords clustered into groups that you should tackle together. Okay, so you take the seed keyword, like a big bold idea how to learn SEO, and basically execute as many of those as you can. And now we are surferseo.com and we have a blog and we cover some of these topics already. So
Mhm.
how to figure out which ones do I have already, which I don't. So basically you connect Google Search Console through this little button and it will allow you to see this magical missing tab. And what
Hmm.
it does, it basically analyzes the Google Search Console ranked keywords and these clusters to see which clusters are already covered and which clusters are, well, missing. So it turns out that from like we almost have a half of this cluster of these analysis covered. So 61 articles to go to cover every single thing. And of course, we've got a bunch of filters here. So I'll just quickly go for the one I like the most, which is the difficulty filter from lowest to highest. And boom, I just found a great cluster about enterprise level SEO that
Hmm.
turns out to be either medium or easy for us to rank for, which is pretty great idea. Like it's even about software, enterprise SEO software, enterprise SEO agencies, enterprise SEO in general, the strategy. So all that stuff that the guy who is sitting in marketing team of an enterprise company will be trying to figure out, and probably he's looking for help. So pretty cool target. So what I did is basically there was a button create content editor, just like here, create content
Mhm.
editor. I created it already because I want to save some time for you. So I will just open that editor and I'm sharing the window. So I have to open it here. Oh, it opens in a new tab. Man,
So is this going to be AI written content? I think Joe in the comments says he's waiting
No,
for the new
no,
Surfer AI
not
writer.
yet. Not
Hmm,
yet, not
okay.
yet. But you will have, obviously, yes. Joe, you spoiled a little, so I encourage you to visit surface.com/AI to join the waiting list. surfaceo.com/AI. But let's go back to the process of turning an idea into article. So what is this tool? For those who are not familiar, this is the content editor tool that will measure your content score, that will tell you how long, how structured your article should be, that will list all of these entities that you should include in the content. So there will be entities about SEO, about enterprise, search, the strategy, and the keywords, and obviously all of these are really, Google is really interested uh, about reading these terms in your article while you are writing it. So how to start the best is to start with the outline, to figure out like what would be the best headings, to like topics basically to include in this article. And we got like about the SEO keyword strategy, about the research, analytics, optimization, custom strategies, comparing enterprise SEO solutions. We've got some tools here. We've got the research, brand reputation. We've got some tools analyzed like Ahrefs, SEO Clarity, Moz. I saw other enterprise tools like Bright Edge. This is the one of the most well-known enterprise SEO tools. So basically, we can start with
Right.
this kind of outline, or we can navigate here to the outline where you already have some AI content generated. This is also pretty helpful to you know kickstart your writing. But the standard process of creating an article is through this button. So you basically share, and either share it within the Google Docs or within Surfer's shared editor, so any writer can reach this this page without logging in to Surfer, to your account. But uh, let me find someone who is not really well optimized, and we've got this Moz article. I'm just copying from a different tab, so forgive me not
No problem.
seeing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll just go back and
And
put it here.
a quick question too,
Go
whenever
ahead.
you get to so Flavio has another good question just in terms of the keywords that appear
Yeah,
on the
let me go back.
side. Yeah, that's a good window right there. I think he's asking about the keywords on the side suggestion. So, if one publishes articles with very similar keywords, is there not a risk of keyword cannibalization and receiving penalties from search engines that does not appreciate similar content, or is that just a misconception? Talking about those keywords.
If you refer to the clusters I showed you with these within these rectangles, so these clusters are created based on search results from Google, and we analyze a lot of stuff during this calculation to tell you which topics should be separated and which topics should be connected. And this is based on how Google is treating pages answering these let's say targeting these keywords. So if it feels like a cannibalization, it is not, because Google prefer to have these topics separated than joined. If a cluster seems to be too big and you feel like it should be two articles, in fact, based on search results, it turns out that these topics should be actually connected in a
Hmm.
same article. So it's all data driven based on SERPs. And even though it feels like cannibalization, potential cannibalization, it is not, and it is how Google would like to see you covering these topics, and I hope Flavio it explains that. And now let's go back to this one and let's pretend that we just written this article and now we are moving to the optimization. So we can see that there are quite a lot of keywords not included in the article. Like even search engine optimization is
Mhm.
not included in this article. So let's just change it to, and it goes yellow and score goes up slowly. So the way we should treat optimization using content editor and uh, already existing content is to include as many of these terms in the article. If we don't know the context of, let's say, organic traffic, we can check how competitors use this specific keyword, or we can, and this is not available to everyone yet, but I guess we've got like a tiny bit of a premiere. Hope it will work. We got AI terms assistant that I just
Hmm.
clicked, and within a minute or so, it should find the best placements for missing keywords within
Hmm.
the article. So we will be just accepting like a Grammarly kind of stuff. So there will be like information. You should consider including the keyword in here because it fits here, and
Right.
we will be able to accept or decline. So I will let this spinner spin for a little longer and tell you a little bit more about the AI stuff that Joe was
Yeah, definitely.
referring to a few moments ago. So yeah, the train of AI writing tools is pretty fast already and pretty heavy with many products on the market.
Hmm.
However, no one is really offering a service that will generate well optimized, data driven, and fact based article in a single click.
Hmm.
And I don't know why. Maybe it is because it is complex, maybe because it is a bit more expensive. However, we are pursuing that idea of really creating a top-notch first draft of an article that is taking into account the search results and really understands that topic and breaks it down into really well formatted pieces. So this is definitely something that you will be able to find in Surfer in the next weeks in a beta testing mode. Oh, we got a few. So the flow
Okay,
looks
let's check
like
this
this:
out.
you read and you accept. All right, blah blah blah. Ranking organic. Okay, okay. Blah 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 blah, and now the
Right.
score is up 5 points. So it's
Interesting.
something that should be helpful in speeding up the optimization, so you don't have to
Yeah.
really
Question on
find
that.
these
Like,
placements.
right, right. So is that makes a lot of sense how that's working. Does it prioritize certain keywords to go higher up on the page, or is it more about
Mhm.
the paragraph's relevance, and then it suggests the keywords inside of like a paragraph?
Yeah, so there are like two separate AI
Hmm.
algorithms running in there. The first one will match a keyword, a missing keyword, with a
Hmm.
paragraph that it belongs to, like the most relevant paragraph among the article that should like take the keyword. And then there is a separate algorithm that tries to find out whether is if there is a place
Hmm.
that the keyword really fits into without changing the text. And if these two are meeting the threshold of acceptance, so we have like we are sure that the keyword really belongs in the paragraph, and then we are sure that the keyword injected sound okay and it it may be accepted by the user, then we will show that recommendation. And in general, you should be able to see between 5, 10, sometimes even 20 recommendations based on the current state of the article and the amount of paragraphs and so on and so forth. But in general, it's pretty helpful, and in most cases, it's bringing up the score quite significantly. But basically, this is everything you need to know if you would like to start with Surfer. The key anchors you have to have is that you will be able to do the research based on a lot of information and clustered keywords that won't cause cannibalization. Then you'll be able to connect Google Search Console that will allow you to find out which topics are really missing. And after that, you can turn these topics into content editors that will help you create them in a SEO friendly way with these outlines, with the keywords in place, and basically with everything that the user needs to know about the specific topic. So yeah, I don't want
Right.
to put too many information at once. So let's stop here.
No, that's super helpful. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, one more question, just kind of like hitting on what you said. What Joe's question was around the AI content. You said there was like no real good source out there for generating content, and primarily is probably because you're talking about like fact checking and high quality and all that good stuff. Is it because like a lot of AI tools aren't really built on like databases for like factual information, like stats, reports, and data like that, or is it just because like what's kind of like going to be the separator for us or for SEOs kind of AI versus what's out there in the market?
Yeah. So I guess that will be like a few elements connected. Uh, One is that these articles will come optimized right off the bat. So we've got a lot of information about the keywords to be used, about the topics to be covered. So we use
Right.
the technology we already have, so the NLP and stuff. That's first. The second stuff is originality in terms of AI detection tools and human-like input, output, and so on. So we use really complex methods to create the article that you can't tell that is produced by the AI. And the reason is not to pursue these scores of the detectors, but to really give this mm, this feeling of an article that is really well written and structured, and what's important, it has a logical chain of thought. So it's not like a
Mm,
simple prompt, write me an article about something
right.
or create an introduction about whatever. It's like a lot of calculations in between, and that's why it's not cheap. It's expensive stuff, but it turns out to be um, moving the needle. In many cases, we are running some tests already, and they are promising in terms of actually moving the SEO needle. uh, and the third stuff will be, like you said, facts. So you can really tell a lot to uh, to these OpenAI GPT stuff. You can teach him. You can
Mm,
teach it actually.
right.
What's important, what's true, what's not. And if you have a lot of information gathered about competitors, gathered about the topic, you are capable to, with like a huge combination of prompts, uh, create an article that will be covering everything that is important in a way that you won't be able to see the difference.
Amazing. All right, two short questions if you have time for them. One more from Flavio. He says, Michael, thank you for your answers. Could you explain how keyword research works with Surfer SEO? What are the critical to be evaluated when choosing keywords?
Mhm. Absolutely.
Or criteria. Sorry.
We,
Yeah. Yeah.
we are trying to give you as many topics around the initial keyword as possible to boost the topical authority of a silo, of a category, whatever you are creating. And the way we do it is that we use the seed keyword that you start with to ask Google what are the search results. Basically everything starts with it, and we've got a bunch of domains, bunch of URLs ranking, right? So we will extract the domain part from each URL, and then we will query Google again, asking for URLs among these domains that are related to the seed keyword. So we will perform the site domain space keyword, and Google will give us 100 URLs if we use the parameter 100 results. And we will do it for like top 20 competitors, which gives us around 2000 URLs from very different domains that are related to the seed keyword. And with this information, we go to our keywords database to ask, hey, what are the keywords that this URL ranks for? And then repeat the request 2000 times. So we receive an information of 2000 sets of keywords that are ranked together. And then we will ask machine learning algorithms to group these URLs so they create clusters of lookalike pages, lookalike topics. So if there is a domain A and domain B, and they both have a URL that ranks on 10 keywords that are overlapping a lot in between, it turns out that this is a common topic, and you should cover it as well because it is around the seed keyword. This is a little bit shallow explanation, but it involves these machine learning algorithms for clustering and keywords database and querying Google a lot. And these three pieces mixed together give the result of around 100 clusters on any popular topic.
Yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Flavio. I think it does for me on my end. That's a lot of great.
It's not a scientific bullshit. It's trial and error so many times, and
right.
it turns out to be working.
And it shows. It shows. And last question for you, Michael. Thank you again for your time and being on. What advice would you give to SEO or people who are looking to jump into the SEO tool space? What were kind of your learnings, or what advice would you give to these folks?
So scratch your own itch is too often said, but it's really the thing, because you know the problem by yourself, you experienced it, and if you can answer the question that, am I the only one who has this issue? Is it pissing me off and I'm the only one on the world who is pissed off with this particular issue? If that's the case, then stop building the tool. But if you can ask your friend on the group, wherever, and they will say that, yeah, you may be onto something, then you should start evaluating it with users, and don't create any tool before you evaluate it with at least 10 people. If 10 people in your niche will tell you it might be helpful for me, then, well, go for it. That will be the advice for SEOs trying to build a tool.
Excellent. Well said, man. Well said. And just for the folks, where can they find you? Social media or website, obviously surferseo.com. What other sources can they, how else can people find you?
Yeah, Facebook group, SEO Surfers. This is the best place to communicate with me. 100%.
Right on.
SEO
Thank you.
Surfers group.
SEO Surfers group. Yeah, if you have that, we'll post the link in the chat as well. But Michael, thank you so much again. I know it's late. Thank you for staying up late with us, and I definitely appreciate your time. This was super valuable, and keep crushing it, man. We're all we're all looking at you and looking towards you, and the tool's been amazing, man. Thank you for all your support for the community.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for listening today, and have a great rest of the day, everybody. Cheers.
Bye.